Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well and having a fantastic day. So again, I'm here with you with another market video update, and today we are going to discuss about the previous levels and what levels are active for currently and what are going to be next. So in front of us, as we can see, we have the BTC USDT into our time frame, and currently BTC is trading at the $75,851 zone. So as you remember, my fellow members, I have told you when BTC was trading around the $68,200 zone that if we closes two candles above this zone, then we have a high probability that we are going to visit the $71,000 zone that can give us a rejection. And exactly we have seen this. We have seen a pump of around 5%, and then exactly from the mentioned zone, we have seen a drop toward the lower support zone, which was the 68,000. And this downside move was around the minus 4% move. So at this level, we have seen that BTC had made a support zone around this level and this level. We have seen a bounce from this zone toward the upper zone at this $74,000 zone, where we have planned a short entry at this zone, which I have told you to sold from the $74,000 zone, which gives us a drop of almost around a 5% move. Initially, our this entry was missed by only $90 $100 zone because the original short trade was at the $74,000 zone, and Bitcoin has moved to almost $73,900 zone before dropping toward the lower support zone at the $70,000. At the $70,000 zone, again in a post update, I have told you once we once the BTC hold this zone, we can again move toward the $74,000 to $76,000 zone, and exactly we have seen BTC have given us a move of around 7.8%, 7.8% at the $76,000 zone, exactly as I have predicted. So, what are the current levels and what we have to watch? So, to study this, we will first move toward the higher time frame, which will be daily time frame. So let's see what the daily time frame is representing us. So first, as we can see here at this zone, which was previously the all-time high zone around the 1,25,800 zone, which gave us a pretty good sell at the zone of $80,000 zone before we have seen a pump toward the $96,000 zone. And again at this zone, we have seen a sell toward the lower support zone. And exactly you can see previously from the all-time high we have seen around the 36% down move, and currently almost we are at the 38% to 39% down move from the $97,000 zone. So are we going toward a new all-time high? The BTC is going to have a breakout move at this zone and then drop toward this zone. So from this, we will simply draw a trend line from the previous all-time high zone to our second drop zone, which will be this zone. Then we have a clear picture that what BTC is going about to do. So first sell that we have seen, which was around the 1 lakh, almost around the $1,26,000 zone for BTC, that give us a drop of almost 36%. Then we have seen a rally toward the $80,000, $97,000 zone, and at this zone we have seen a sell toward the lower support zone, that is $60,000 zone. Again, BTC is moving toward this resistance trend line zone, and at this zone we can easily see a sell toward the zone. So we can see a sell of almost 38% to 39% from this zone. And this zone, I have told you previously that this zone will be the zone of our first level of interest for buying BTC for long term. As you can see here, we are in a clear higher high and higher low, lower high and lower low structure pattern. First we have seen a higher low at this zone, then we have seen a lower low at this zone, then we have again seen a lower high at this zone, and then we have seen a lower low at this zone, and currently BTC is forming a higher high at this zone. And most probably this is going to be a fake move towards the $78,000 to $79,000 zone, and that we are going to see a big drop from this zone toward the $47,000 zone to $49,000 zone for BTC. So let us again move toward the lower time frame. Currently at this zone we have a resistance from this zone to this zone. So the first resistance previously we have seen was at the $70,000 to $71,000 zone, which gives us a drop of almost around 11% move, and then we have seen an upward move from this zone toward the $74,000 zone, which gives us a very good sell and almost again delivered us a 11.2% move, 11.4% move. And again from this zone at the $75,800 zone, we are seeing a pretty good buy side move. And from this zone, I am expecting that BTC should give us a rejection from this zone toward this level, which will be around $71,000 zone, before we move toward the upper zone toward the $77,000 zone to $78,000 again, or we directly go below from this zone. As we have the FOMC meeting in this week and the decision and the rate cuts, so this week will be full of manipulations and we have to prepare ourselves for this. So the basic thing, once our trade comes in profit, we must have to move our stop loss at the entry or the B zone and start booking profit little by little. And to make sure we don't get in a wrong trade, because at this zone, either we trade from the $76,000 zone to $77,000 zone, or either we go from short from $80,000 zone to $81,000 zone. The move is simple toward the lower support zone at this zone. So simply what we have to watch is either we are getting a rejection from this zone or are we going to close above the zone. If we close above the zone any candle, then I will simply at the retest I will close my trade and plan to enter from the $79,000 zone to $78,500 zone with a potential stop loss around the $81,000 zone to $82,000 zone, which will be the zone of breakout. So if this zone reclaim, which will be $84,000 zone to $85,000 zone, this zone can, then we will expect that this zone will be act as the reversal zone and BTC then give us a move toward the higher zones and reclaim the its 100k level zone. So I think BTC part has been cleared from support levels to resistance level. So moving toward the ETH. Similarly, as I have told you about the BTC USDT, Ethereum USDT is doing the similar thing and nothing is changed on the table. So, as I have told you that about our BTC, that this upper trend line is giving us a very solid sell zones. Every time we have visited this zone, we have seen a pretty good sell toward the lower support zone, and that these support levels are very supported. Upper trend line and lower support trend lines are very important for our trading. So for Ethereum, we have a zone from this zone, which was the previous support zone and currently acting as the resistance zone, which is around the $2,400 zone to $2,500 zone, which is acting as a potential sell zone toward the lower support zone. And the first level of interest which will be open for us will be around this level, which was the previous order block zone, which give us a move toward all-time high, which was around the 250% profit. So at this level to this level, if I see BTC Ethereum around these levels, first level will be around the $1,300 zone, $1,400 zone precisely, and the second entry will be around the $1,100 zone. So these both zones will be very important, and I will definitely accumulate Ethereum around this zone for the long term. And losing this zone, which is the $1,100 zone to $1,000 zone, is very important. If this zone loses, which will definitely not going to be loose, because this is a very strong support zone and I don't expect this level to be break in any scenario. So this level from the $1,400 zone to $11,000 zone is very important for Ethereum, and that once we visited this zone from the $1,400 zone to $1,000 zone, this zone will be very important, and I will definitely accumulate for myself for long term for BTC Ethereum. So currently what we have to watch is a rejection from this zone, which will be around $2,500 zone to $2,400 zone. If we get a rejection from this zone and it gave us a retestment toward the $1,900 zone, then we are definitely going to visit the lower support zone from the $1,400 zone. Currently, we are seeing a pump toward the upper zone, and it is forming the falling wedge pattern, and it is a bullish pattern. So for long term, I'm definitely sitting in a bullish position for Ethereum. So if someone says that buying Ethereum around this zone is a very good zone, or buying Ethereum is a very good zone, then they are right. They are not wrong that calling this zone is a good zone, because probably they are going to DCA around this zone and this zone. So they have a proper position when we visit the upper zone, will be around the 300 to 400% profit. So the most important thing is to matter is to follow the chart and what chart represents us. So if I have seen a breakout from this zone, which will be around $2,650 zone, I will definitely going to buy at the retest zone and then right toward the upper zone. Simple. But when I have seen it around the $2,500 zone, I will definitely going to short from this zone with a tightest stop loss to right toward the lower support zone to buy with huge quantity to right toward the upper zone. So I think I have cleared the support and resistance zone and the levels which will be breaker block zones or the reversal zone for the Ethereum USDT. So let's move toward the Sol USDT and let's see what Sol USDT. So members, if you remember correctly, previously I have told you about the level of $82 to $81 zone, that once that we hold this zone, we have most high probability that we are going to again visit the upper trend line zone, and exactly we have seen this move and around an 18% move from this zone was seen. And this zone I have told you about in our previous video market update. So currently our trade for the Sol USDT has been activated, which was the short trade, and the first entry was around the $95.5 zone and the second entry was around the $97.5 zone, and both entries has been triggered, and currently we are running in almost 1% profit. So I will put a stop loss around this zone, move my stop loss around this $96.5 zone, and if this trigger, then I will definitely going to buy from the upper zone. Sell from the upper zone. So as you can see in front of us, we have the TOTAL2, and currently the TOTAL2 is trading at the 1.04 trillion US dollars. So at this level, we have a sell zone and a liquidity grab zone around the $1.4 zone to $1.6 zone, which I'm expecting that we can have a retest from this zone, and then we can see a move towards the lower support zone. So remember, still we are trading around this zone from the $850 billion zone to around the $1.4 trillion zone to $1.7 trillion zone. This will be act as the support and resistance zone for our altcoin. So every time we see in this region, we are going to sell our altcoins, and every time we see at this region, we are going to buy altcoins, which will be most important levels for the altcoins. So till we are trading in this channel, we are going to simply buy from the upper, we are going to sell from upper zone and buy from the lower zone. So remember, in front of us we have the gold USDT in the 4-hour time frame. Let's see what gold is telling us. So let's move toward the lower support zones, lower time frame, and see what we are having for this big gap. So we have seen a pretty good sell from these zones, which was first we have seen a sell from this zone, which was around the $5,200 zone. Then we have seen a sell from $5,100 zone, and at the third time we have seen a sell from the $5,000 zone, which give us a drop toward the $4,968 zone. So let me put the more lower hands. This will be easy to understand. So for the gold USD, we have to watch the current levels, which will be first level. Let me precisely correct for you. So on the lower time frame for the gold USDT, we have a support and resistance zone at the level of, so the resistance zone we are having at the $5,035 zone to $5,040 zone. At this level of zone, every time we have seen at this zone, we have seen a drop from this zone. So, and from the lower support zone, from the $4,900 zone to $4,950 zone, we have seen about. So this level is acting as a support, very good support zone, and currently it's about to form a a triple bottom pattern, which is a bullish pattern. And what we need to see is a breakout from the $5,040 zone. And once we reclaim this upper zone, then we have a pretty good chance that we are going to visit the upper level zones. So first level of interest will be this zone, which was the previous sell zone, and once we clear this zone, then our next zone will be this zone, which was the previous zone of sell. So for gold USDT, what we have to watch at this level is, are we having a breakout from this zone, and we need to see almost three green candles at this region. Once we secure three green candles at this region, we have a pretty good chance that we are going to see a move toward the upper zone at the $100 zone to $200 zone easily going. So if I'm going to see gold at the $4,900 zone, $4,970 zone to $4,960 zone, are we going to wait at this zone? Because gold have created a liquidity at this zone. So most probably the people have put their stop loss around these levels from $4,944 zone, $4,924 zone. So I will plan an entry at this zone, which will be act as a sharp drop and fast move toward the upper zone. So this was the lower time frame update for the gold USDT. Let's move toward the higher time frame and see what we have for the gold USDT. So currently I don't see much thing to be going at the higher time frame, and till we are holding the $4,900 zone, we are in a good position and we can again visit toward the upper zones. And the first level will be at around the $5,300 zone to $5,200 and $5,250 zone. So let's move toward the So in front of us we have the silver USD in the 4-hour time frame, and currently silver is trading at the $81 zone. So let's see what silver is telling us. So currently we have seen a bounce from the previous order block zone, which was around the $78 zone to $77 zone, and currently it's moving toward its resistance zone, which will be around the $85 zone. So if I'm again going to see it toward the lower support zone, which will be around this zone, then I will going to buy from the $75 zone, which will be the previous FPG gap zone, and this zone will be act as the support zone for the our silver USDT. At around this level, most of the traders have put it their buyout that's around the $77 zone to $78 zone, and the liquidity and their stop losses will be around the $74 zone to $73 zone. So I will definitely going to put my orders around this level, and to be more safe, I will try to buy at around the $72 zone to 72 $73 zone. Until we are holding the $70 zone, we don't have to worry about the lower zone, and we can again easily move toward the upper zone. From this level to this level, we have a one move, and that's the upside move. Either we move from this zone or either we move from this zone. We have one zone, that's the upper zone, till we are holding the $72 zone. Any two candles close below this zone will act as a confirmation of breakdown from this level, and then the next level will be around this level, from the $59 zone to $58 zone, because we have a pending liquidity at this zone. So what we have to watch is currently that either we are getting a rejection from this zone, which will be around $83 zone to $84 zone. So at this level, I will definitely going to plan a short entry from the $83 zone to $84 zone to ride it toward the lower support zone from the $74 to $73 zone, to again ride from this zone toward the upper zone from the $95 zone. Once we break out from this zone, then we have a clear bullish move, and after we see a move toward the $95 zone, then with a retracement toward this level, we can again move toward the new all-time high zone around the 120 to $125 zone, which was, and previously we have seen a $120 zone. So around the $125 to $126 we can easily see. The most important thing I have told you is that silver must have to hold the lower support zone, which will be $72 zone, and once we hold this zone, we can again move toward the upper zone at the $96 zone. So this was the market update for the Bitcoin, and for Ethereum, and for the total crypto cap, and for the commodities. So I think this video will help you and guide you to learn whether to buy at the support zone and whether to sell at the support zone, or to wait for the proper confirmation to ride in the bullish phase or to the bearish phase. So thank you for watching, and let's meet in next video. Thank you.